What's up, everybody? So I feel like talking about something. A few things, nothing particular. But I want to start making new videos on where I'm trying to head in this particular part of my experience. I would like to see a world. Of course, I wouldn't mind being very beautiful. I wouldn't mind being fit. And being fit and looking fit, like I say, one person said, I heard somebody say they're suffering from being overweight, and when the person that said that really was not that overweight. They might have been a little plus size, but they were not like overweight as far as how people would see overweight. They would be clinically overweight, like according to a physician, to the BMI, the body mass index. They would probably be obese or whatever according to that. But just regular people just looking at her, she would look just a little plus size, but not really overweight, okay? But so I said before that, unless you have some kind of real medical condition, where I have seen families that they all look the same and the fat looks unusual, as they're unusually, the way they look, they're fat, but the way they look is like it's so unusual. So some people do have a condition, and some people just, just need to lose weight if they want to. But what I want to say is, I wouldn't mind. It's good to be fit and looking nice, all that physically, aesthetically. It's nice to be beautiful. Teeth looking nice, hair looking nice. That'd be great. I'm gonna tell you though what I really would love, because those are the minor things that I really, really want. The major things that I want in the world. Ooh, I'm going the wrong way. Let me back up if I can. So I want to go to a light. Ooh, sorry. But anyway, I would like to see the world look at the heart more. People, I think, I feel like it's time to get out of the ego stage. This whole world is ego driven. It's been ego driven for a long time. So when people talk about they can't find love and you can't, this and that, and it's because it's an ego driven world. And so a lot of people are not in the will of the Most High. A lot of people are driven by their own ego, their own desires. A lot of people are under mind control. So you can't really get too much love, not even from friendship and family, let alone a partner, like, a spouse or whatever, in a realm that is completely ego-driven like that. I would like to see, somebody was talking about Luenell and Al-B Short. It was a guy that was doing a video on Luenell and Al-B Short, and talking about how he said if he was able to do it all over again, he would do it the way Al-B Short has done it. Al-B Short, but you got to realize Al-B Short has probably had a lot of, Al-B Short has been through a life-changing experience. He looks at, I believe Al-B Short looks at the world a lot differently, and he's almost 60. He's not that young. But anyway, he said had he been able to do it all over again, he would do it the way Al-B Short did it. Al-B Short has chosen to look at the heart more than the typical women that he would have been dating. He chose probably more of a longevity, okay, with Luenell. I want to say this when it comes to women, though. Just me observing women. Women, attractive or not, a lot of times will almost do about anything for men. So I'm pretty sure that Al-B Short could have had attractive women in his life that he has dated, that have probably wanted to marry him, that probably would have done anything for him, and he probably still chose not to settle down with them, or marry them or whatever. A lot of times, it's very easy. Women are given that advice not to really go for looks like that because it seems like the pickings are a lot less for women. But when it comes to men, I see exactly what he's saying. But I get the feeling that Al B. Sure could have had plenty attractive women that treated him really well. Okay, sometimes men just choose not to marry because they just don't ever want to make that kind of commitment. I don't believe Albin Short and Luenell would get married. I don't think maybe they should. I don't really think they should get married. I think they should enjoy their time together, enjoy each other's company, have a good time. They seem like really good companions. They seem very compatible. They seem like really good friends. You know, people talk about how they look, how she looks compared to how he looks. But as far as compatibility, they are very good companions. They can probably sit and talk for hours. They understand each other. And the most important thing about with Al B. Short and Luenell is that she spoke to him while he was in a coma. So a lot of people that don't know anything about being in a coma, which a lot of people don't, if you're on your deathbed just about, and somebody's sitting there speaking into him so much to the point where his soul grounds back until he grounds back in his body. She's speaking into him because when you're in a coma, you're no longer there. You're somewhere else. He was in another dimension. He was somewhere else. And she sat there at that bedside and talked to him in his hospital room, talked him out. That's what he said. That was his words. That she talked him out from the other side. She talked him back from the other side. That's what he said on that little shorts clip of her wearing that Fendi hat or whatever, and he shows up with his hat on. I don't know what kind of hat that is. I don't know if it's the Yankees or whatever, some kind of New York hat, whatever. Either way, you know that little shorts clip that's viral, that when they decided to go public. He said that she talked him from the other side. That's what he said, his words. I don't know if anybody knows what that feel like, but that could change his whole world. That right there probably caused him to see Luenell different than any other woman that he has ever dealt with. And the connection cannot be broken. That stuff is deep. That is deep when somebody is clearly about to die. Everything under the sun is being done to make sure he dies. And she is there to speak into him. I believe Luenell is a wise woman, okay? I believe she's a wise woman, okay? She knew what she was doing. This lady knew exactly what to do to keep this man from dying. She knew what to do, but some people know a lot more than what meets the eye. They know a lot more than what you think they know. Okay? And when you do that for somebody, I think sometimes they get past whatever you look like, they get past all of that. She did something to him that nobody else has ever done for him before, ever. She reached this man on a deep subconscious level. Something that the most beautiful model-looking woman could ever have done. To the point where that connection is just not going to be broken, even if they don't ever get married. If they don't get married, it's just because they don't want to get married. But I just don't think anything would ever break up the connection between Luenell. I don't care what they look like walking past. I don't care if Beyonce walked past him. I don't care who is walking past him. Maybe he might look at them physically, but he probably passed all of that, honestly. This woman reached him on, she knew what the heck she was doing. I like Luenell. I mean, I might get out a pencil and paper and talk to Luenell like, what you do, girl? Because that was some real spell work. Not to say that she was doing that on purpose, but like I said, I believe Luenell is a wise woman, okay? And so that is just a major example that I wanted to use about how I would like to see a world where people look at people and judge people by their hearts instead of just looking from the outside or just going by somebody's popularity. Okay, by going by how many followers they have. You know, because I believe if people did things that way as a collective, I think the world would be a lot more healthier. There'll be it'll be balance, you know. But anyway, I feel like talking about that really quickly. Another thing I want to talk about, how there was this lady. I just saw a thumbnail. I didn't click on the video, so I don't know exactly what she said. But she said, just accept the fact that you are alone. Now, in a way, I get what you're saying, and you can't just go crying. You just got to grow up. If you're alone, and you got to deal with that. But you know what? The problem is, if you're not created to be alone, then you should not accept that. See, the thing is, people have their own belief system. And when people have their own belief system, they put it on somebody else's as if it is a real thing that everybody should believe. If you are not created to be alone, you got to ask yourself. See, first of all, ask yourself, am I created to be alone? If I was created to be alone, I don't need anybody else on the planet. Everybody else can freaking die. If I'm okay just being, if I don't need nobody else, I'm really created to be alone, everybody else can go. Whatever. I don't think in this particular type of realm, we're not created. If you're not created to be alone, you should not have to accept it. If the Most High did not create, okay, well, she's not a Christian, but for some Christians say it's not good for man to be alone. Isn't that wasn't that in Genesis? It's not good for man to be alone. Man to be alone. But either way, just that right there is letting you know that people are not created to be alone. That's the point I'm making. I'm just using that example to say, just by that alone, people are not created to be alone. And so if people are not created to be alone, you don't have to accept being alone. Okay. It was a lady who was talking about on her vlog how she got so much love and she was overwhelmed by how much love that she got. But you know what she said? She said for the longest she kept doing affirmations on, you know, I am loved and all this stuff, and kept doing all that those kind of affirmations until she finally saw it manifest. See what I'm saying? So you don't have to accept that. If you want something, if you want to be supported by people, if you want to be loved, you don't have to accept. You don't have to take your present situation that you're in right now. You don't have to accept that as your destiny. Now, I didn't listen to this lady's video, so I can't say everything she said. I don't know. But I hope she wouldn't say to just accept that as your destiny. You don't have to accept that as your destiny. Why even be born? Why be created? Why? You know, if you're not created to be alone, then you should not accept being alone. So I don't know. I have to click on that video to even hear what she said. But see, when I see those type of titles, it's almost like even if that's not what she said, that title kind of threw me off. And I do understand the significance of what you put in your titles now. You know what I mean? Because the title might be, the title might turn people off, but what's in the doggone video might not really be what the title says. Okay. And so I get the importance of titles right off. I get the importance of titles. Now, sometimes folks are trying to do clickbait and stuff. So they trying to get people to watch, and they know put in unusual stuff in their titles. People are more likely to click on it, all right, than to really put in a title what you're really talking about, you know. But just that title alone, where I am right now, I am a person that don't really believe in just doing it all by myself. You're going to fail. You cannot be a regular human being and just do it all by yourself. You can't do it. But you know what? In this world, people are conditioned to feel like you have to do it by yourself, and you're going to die. Eventually, you cannot just do it all by yourself. some people have. I've seen some people just go living like Castaway, like Tom Hanks in Castaway. Because if you want to face that kind of reality, you're going to be like Tom Hanks in Castaway. Do you really want to be like Tom Hanks in Castaway? I would rather just pray for the Most High to take me up out of this realm. I would do as much fasting or whatever and meditation and prayer that I need to do to clear myself to the point that I'm completely, energetically taken up out this realm if you have to live like Tom Hanks in Castaway. Because the way that title sounded without me even clicking on the video, it sounds like Tom Hanks in the movie called Castaway. Do you really want that life? Is that what you want to accept? Doesn't that sound very depressing? That is so depressing that you can't accept that. That's not how you were created. It cannot be accepted. Like, some people as gifted spiritually as they are, and I've already talked about myself, the things I've been through as a child. But see, I feel like I've done so much self-reflection, meditation, and stuff like that I can see when I can see things. And a person who will tell you to accept the fact that you are just alone and going to be alone, first of all, it might look like you're alone, but the truth is you might not be alone. Because you have what's called the 3D world, the false eyes, the eyes that you see the false world with. But what's really in the inner world, what's really going on is you have a lot on your side. This is why sometimes I'm not a Christian. This is why sometimes I appreciate the Bible. Because the Bible said, if God, I'd rather say the Most High. I don't like saying the word God. I'd rather say the Most High. If the Most High is for you, who can be against you? If the Most High is for you, you are not alone. So sometimes people have clinical depression and they push that clinical or whatever depression on other people. If you do not want to be alone, you do not have to accept that. If you do not want to be single for the rest of your life, you do not have to accept that. Now, but I will say the thing about being single and getting married or whatever is that is why I prefer for the Most High to be my center. I prefer for the Most High to be completely in my heart, and I prefer to be completely guided by the Most High. The reason why is because the Most High ain't ever wrong. When has the Most High ever been wrong? Because my ego has been wrong so many doggone times. My ego has chosen the wrong man so many times. My ego has chosen the wrong friend so many times. My ego has caused me to be scammed. I won't say so many times, but my ego has caused me to be scammed a couple of times, right? My ego has caused me to make quite a few mistakes. So when people keep saying I can't find love, why you keep stop letting your ego guide you for love? You are, if you saying you can't get love, you're not loving yourself. And I don't mean that. When I mean loving yourself, I'm talking about the real you, the Most High. In my opinion, love has to start with the Most High, because the Most High does not make mistakes. You make mistakes. The Most High does not make mistakes. I feel like, for me, if I sit back, get the ego out the way, my whole identity is in the Most High, all of my thoughts, like I'm a woman after the Most High's heart, then every step I make is going to be the right step. There will not be any mishaps. When people say that's what they're looking for, they need to get their ego out the way and let the Most High drive them. Let the Most High be a driving force. Because all of this that we are seeing is a program. So when people are saying they're looking for love and they can't find it, this is a doggone simulation. This is a doggone program. So a person that you never seen, that you never knew existed, just might show up, because all of this stuff is a doggone simulation. Okay? So, but I felt like saying that because just that title alone, that's why I learned to be more careful on how I do my titles. That title right there alone kind of turned me off to the point where where I am in my life. I don't want to click on a video like that, because that's not a reality that I want to accept. That is not. I can accept that's how I have felt. If I feel alone, I can accept that's how I'm feeling, even if it's not true. Because if I was alone, bad things, really, really bad things would have got a lot worse for me. If I was really alone like that, things would have been a lot worse for me. So somebody of a higher power is on my side, because it's not people. Because the stuff that happened to me, I couldn't really tell to people. And you have to, even when you pay people, they don't help you like that. So I can tell somebody's been on my side, but it's not what looks like a human. And so I do feel like sometimes it's hard to get humans on your side, but I feel like if you really love the inner you more, the Most High that's in you more, you're going to probably start feeling loved, and you're going to probably start feeling like you have all the help in the world. Because once you start to get the mind of the Most High, then you're going to know that there's nothing that can't be done. Okay? But anyway, I just feel like talking about that really quickly. I see my videos are usually about just over 20 minutes long, and then I'll stop. I guess that's just like, I don't even look at the clock. I just talk and I look down and I'm about to ready to stop, and that's where I am. So I guess that's just like a pattern right there. I don't have anything else to say though. So with that being said, I'll talk later.